have a copper project in Saskatchewan with an I-43-101 resource estimate of over 200 million pounds of copper. So basically, that's our flagship project. Additionally, we have a very vibrant and energetic young team with very strong technical team members, a good shareholder base, and fully cashed up for an upcoming drill program. Some of the key aspects is on a due diligence is that, while there are good projects all over the world, you have to start considering safe jurisdiction. You cannot put the price on safe jurisdiction in the sense that, governments might be taking back their projects or increasing taxes or increasing royalties unexpectedly, right? So you don't cater for these things here. But these are certain elements that when you're running a project due diligence, you should be start considering very seriously, because these things can change the economic outlook of a project, and it can happen overnight, because as we've seen what happened quite a bit around the world, that governments just would increase royalties or taxes and stuff like that. In our industry, a lot of people have been working for a while and not necessarily had the background or the foundation in working in a mine. So I actually worked in the mines in Northern Ontario 20-something years ago. So I started my career in Northern Ontario on FNX Dynatech joint venture. So I physically worked in the mines. So I worked in the mines, and then I have a very strong technical background and financial, because I worked in the investment banking industry. So I do know quite a bit of the different aspects of the industry from very young, where traditionally you will either be in one aspect for quite a bit of time before you get to branch out. So that was very key, in my career, to have the different aspects of the business nailed down. So I'll start with Rockridge. So Rockridge is going to be drilling in mid-July. It's fully financed. We're in Saskatchewan in a safe jurisdiction, and we're on a VMS deposit. And a VMS deposit, James, normally have different pods. So you wouldn't have like one massive deposit. You'd have multiple deposit, and we haven't hit the source as yet. So we've just completed geophysics survey, and we are analyzing it to refine our drill program for the upcoming drill season. So we think that's going to be a major catalyst, and potentially looking to add pounds to our current resource base, making new discovery. But what would be transformational is if we hit the source. If we can hit the source feeder of the system, this can be very big. And this reminds me, James, of forehand mining. A couple of years ago, forehand mining was basically in the same position like us. They were coming along, and then they had some changes, and today they're over $500 million market cap. And we believe this could be the turning point for Rockridge and its shareholders. We have a very solid young team and very dynamic, who's in the industry and knows the business very well. So with a good project, a good team, good investor base, and cashed up to do the program, we believe we have all the ingredients to add value in a very short time to shareholders. On the second part of your question, generally, it's about the industry. So I strongly believe that if we understand the real numbers on inflation, the demand for copper due to electrical vehicle consumption. I was just reading an article a couple days ago, and they were saying each vehicle requires a couple hundred pounds of copper, and then we produce a couple million vehicles. And what's happening is a lot of copper producing mines, their depletion of reserves are hitting all-time low. And I read too that quite a few of the copper mines are going to run out of reserves, and hence no copper production. So to fulfill that gap, I strongly believe that copper is in for a good run in a very short time. I think the time is right now for the entire industry, because you can go on fumes for a long time, but it has to come to the end in terms of the inflation. We need to understand what's inflation really do. And then once we understand it, I think all commodity price was going to make a run. The second thing is, once we're out of this pandemic fully, there's going to be demand for most commodities, for go back to constructions and all the other stuff, just to ensure that people go back to the normal way of life. And fundamentally, it's been lagging, and we heard about the market is turning around and stuff. But I just think, we're at a time where it could be the point where we say, this is the real situation, and hence the value creation for the mining industry and more money flowing back into the industry, and all the mining gears are up and running.